Live now, breaking, Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor speaking about Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Listen.
Any corroborating evidence whatsoever. The reporting was so thin, the story ran not in the news section, but on the opinion page. In fact, Mr. President, they've already had to issue an enormous correction. The writers conveniently failed to note that the supposed victim herself declined to be interviewed. And several of her friends say she has no memory of any such thing happening. We all remember this pattern from last time around. Shoot first, correct the facts later. And here's another familiar pattern. Just like last September, little things like facts and evidence didn't stop Democrats from rushing to exploit this. Even as the media was trying to backpedal, a number of the Democratic presidential candidates were hysterically calling for Justice Kavanaugh to be impeached. On the basis of this flimsy, uncorroborated story, they're calling for Justice Kavanaugh to be impeached. That includes several of our own Senate colleagues. And even after the massive correction, no one in that group has backed off of the ridiculous threat. This laughable suggestion is already earning scorn throughout the country, across the political spectrum. A majority of senators and the American people rightly rejected the politics of unsubstantiated personal destruction just last year. It's just as transparent and self-serving today, 1 year later. But it would be a mistake to dismiss this as a bad case of sour grapes. This is not just a left-wing obsession with one man. It's part of a deliberate effort to attack judicial independence. 6 of the Democratic presidential candidates, plus one who has now quit to run for the Senate, have publicly flirted with packing the Supreme Court. Court packing. Today's bold new Democratic idea, a failed power grab from back in the 1930s. Just a few weeks ago, some Senate Democrats nakedly threatened the Supreme Court justices in writing. Our colleagues sent the court an outlandish brief, gravely intoning that the Supreme Court is not well, they said. The Supreme Court is not well. Here was the punchline. Either issue rulings we like or we'll pack the court. Issue rulings that we like or we'll pack the court. This is not normal political behavior. These are the actions of a political party whose agenda is so alien to the Constitution that they feel threatened by fair and faithful judges. Well, Mr. President, this is what I would say. When the simple notion that judges should be faithful to the Constitution looks like an attack on your agenda, maybe it's your agenda that needs a makeover, not our independent judiciary. When you are this willing to launch unhinged personal attacks, you reveal a whole lot more about your own radicalism than about the men and women you target. So this is my commitment, Mr. President, and the commitment of all my Republican colleagues. As long as we remain in the Senate, we will fight to preserve our fair and independent judiciary.